Imagine being born with no arms. How would you live your life? The simple, mundane tasks we take for granted every day would be not simple anymore. Wouldn't be simple anymore. God. But one Kiwi is defying all odds, showing the world not only how he shaves, but how he types, eats, and even makes paper planes using just his feet. Jase Smithyman, who goes by the YouTube handle Wingless, was born with no arms and has just made global headlines for just being him. He joins me now. Jase, good morning to you.
Good morning.
This is fantastic because some people, of course, treat any kind of physical handicap or anything like that like a handicap, and it holds them back. Whereas you have used it to springboard you to YouTube fame.
Yeah, it sort of just happened as a bit of a shock, really. I sort of did it for me, and then all of a sudden people started noticing, and then they started really noticing, and I kind of, it really was a shock. Like, it literally happened overnight.
Because was it, I mean, I can imagine that you would get fed up with people saying, oh, how do you do this? Or, you know, is it really hard to brush your teeth? Or things like that. Did that used to happen all the time?
It still does happen, but I like it when people do ask me, because it means that they're curious and they're polite enough to come and ask, which I think is like quite a good trait in a person. It's the people who don't ask and just presume that really do bother me.
How does it, I mean, this obviously comes down to your attitude because different people handle things in different ways. Did you ever see not having arms as being a major problem?
Well, I never had a choice. So, no, not at all. No.
Well, you had the choice to just sort of sit around and be miserable and not make paper planes and not challenge yourself, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did, but that wasn't really an option in my mind.
See, that's what it is. It's attitude. All right, we're going to have a look at some of those things now and have a listen to how these things work. Bella is going to bring over a lighter. Now, do you smoke?
I'd rather not answer that. But
So that's yes, isn't it? Okay, but for some reason one day, and it had nothing to do with smoking, you decided you needed to light a lighter.
Well, everyone else was doing it, so why shouldn't I do it?
See, perfect. So how do you go about it? Talk me through it.
Okay, where is the lighter? Thank you. Okay, so all that you literally do is...
Okay, so you've got it in between your toes.
Yeah, you get your little toe underneath it. Hang on, I've got to manoeuvre it. Get your little toe underneath it, and then you just...
Oh my God.
That is
very cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is very, very cool. Can you do it again? Because it's the second time is always hardest. Because the lighter moves into a different position. Have you ever burnt your toe?
I didn't wear shoes for a very long time, so I have really, really thick-soled feet.
Yeah.
So, second time.
Gosh, that is incredible. Now, the other thing that you do on YouTube, I mean, is there some sort of slight worry that it's like a bit of an act? Do you sort of slightly worry that it's sort of a bit actish? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know, because the thing is that I've had a lot of questions from my friends, like, why did you decide to make the sandwich video? And the answer is because I was hungry and I just wanted to take a video of it.
Yeah.
So I literally was going to make a sandwich anyway.
Yeah.
I just said, hey, can you film this?
And it is such a good way of answering people who say, how do you make a sandwich?
Yeah.
How is it possible? Right, okay, now I can't imagine anyone said to you, how do you make paper planes? Because there are a lot of people that go through life never making paper planes, but for some reason, you decided you needed to. So have we got a piece of paper, Bella? Okay.
Well, I decided to do it for my, when I got my 200th subscriber.
Right.
Just because I thought...
This is on the YouTube?
Yeah, on the YouTube. Because I thought, 200 is quite a milestone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I literally went from about 30 to 180 in like a day. And I thought 200, yep, that'll do. Right.
Okay, so what you're doing now is you're actually folding it and you're using both feet to do the paper plane. You have been picked up all around the world, haven't you? I mean, the New York Post, Scotland's Daily Record, London's Metro newspaper?
I have, actually. Yeah. It came as quite a shock to me, just the amount of interest I had. And this was literally in a day that I got picked up for the Scottish one, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you thinking now in your mind, what are some of the other things that I can do on YouTube to continue people's fascination in me?
Well, that's the thing, is that I actually ask my subscribers. I say, what do you want me to do?
Oh, fantastic.
Because I eventually will run out of ideas myself, yeah. So,
are you happy that you were blessed with actually quite good-looking feet? Because that would be a major problem, wouldn't it, if your feet were ugly?
Well, yeah, I am pretty happy about that, yeah. But they actually, because my toes are incredibly strong from doing stuff.
I bet.
I think that it did shape them quite a bit.
Paul, I'm just watching him do this. Can I ask you a question? Do you think you've changed the way your big toe actually operates? Because it is amazing what he is doing. I'm watching it. Do you think it operates differently now to perhaps it would have when you were born?
Oh, definitely. It's actually from mimicking your hands. My big toe's a thumb.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, it's just you use things that you don't need to use when you don't need to use them. So it's like blind people have extraordinary sense of hearing and smell, etc., etc., etc. Where do you go from here? Are you planning, because you're a music producer, so you've got more or less a full-time job as a music producer, but are you planning on taking this side of your life further?
I haven't even thought about it. I'm going to keep making videos, of course, because that's just what I do. And I actually can't remember what I do now. There we go. Okay.
See, the hardest thing about making a paper plane on television
How to make a paper plane
and on radio is that you have a lot of people watching and listening.
Yeah.
And they want you to succeed, but they sort of don't. It's like watching motor racing. You don't really want people to crash, but you sort of do. I'm right, aren't I, Jim?
You're absolutely
you
correct.
You sort of do.
Yeah.
But this is looking like a better paper plane dart than I have ever made.
Yeah. Mine never fly. I'm sure his will fly.
I'm sure it will. All right. Hey, Jase, thank you so much for coming in. All the very best with your future. I know that one of the things that you are desperate to do is raise some money so that you can pay to have a car converted so you can drive it, because that's essential for your job, isn't it?
Definitely.
How could people help you out with that?
I have no idea. How do you think they could help me out with that?
Look, we're going to work on that, all right? You leave that to me. We're going to work on that. But the only way to really end our conversation is to see if your paper dart flies.
Well, do you want to fly it?
So I will. Thank you very much. All right. I've got to say, this is better than any paper dart I've ever made. So let's give it a go, all right?
Well, not bad.
No, I reckon that's sort of 50-50.
Yeah,
and it's probably better than any paper dart I've ever thrown before. Jase, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Jase Smithyman, or Wingless, you will find him on the YouTube.